have something in mind.
Yeah, Dinko quite optimistic, thinking that it's going to be a close endeavor, really. That Big still have a couple of bunches to throw at Heroic here. The good thing is for them, they start on the CT side. And historically, in this particular tournament, starting off on the CT side and having a grand start, that's how you turn maps in your favor. So, Big now have got a read on what Heroic are throwing at them. Tessa's looking to regress here with the rest of the cavalry onto this A site. It's going to be a 5-man stack up. Nonetheless, Shush is Mida left behind. Sisson with a first contestment, flash to the side, finds an off angle. A little bit awkward there, but Tabs and Searson open things up nicely. Katie into the right-hand side, Searson looking to back away, not looking to take these trades. Big really opting back out of them as Cadian seizes the opportunity to allow that bomb to go down. Shush, he was left behind earlier to get the job done when the time requires it. Dooley's in play for Big though. That's what you love to see. But they know exactly where he's coming from, which means the bomb will safely go down. Now, Kito has a choice to make. Where does he want to enter from?
He thinks it's B.
I was like, is this a big brain play? Is he going all the way around, you know, through spawn or anything? But no. Seems to realize there was B, but now he knows what's going on. But he has no idea where the Heroic players might lie. Okay, that's the first one. But a crossfire setup here for Heroic will start things off nicely for them.
That could be not close. If Cadian didn't hit that shot, I mean, I've seen it many times before. You kill the first guy while jumping and one guy is missing you, shooting him from behind. You could easily have one tap him. But yeah, this from Cadian is so important because if he white swings long, he can, like the guy who was on long as CT, you could have seen a shadow and it was an easy kill for them. But Cadian didn't make that mistake and just, you know, played the numbers.
Heroic seem to be in control, really. Of course, with a better weaponry, you kind of expect that. Big wanted to play numbers advantages towards that A site. You know, if you can't find strength in the guns, try and put all your forces together. But now, here comes the push. A bit of a stackerino here for Big, but they're going to quickly get shut down. Just a Mac 10 Modown, putting some extra cash in the bag.
It is really like, in these rounds, you just want the Mac 10s to hunt. And that's what they do. But in the next round, they will have the Mac 10s, right? So for Big, that might be a read where they can go. But that was too expensive. Now they might just upgrade all of them. Nice shots. That they only had USP and like 1 or 2 deagles. That is, they're getting 3 kills. That is a bonus.
Really nice start. I think they did manage to salvage that AK in the end.
Yeah, so now all of them have AKs, but yeah, it cost them a lot, to be honest. And you can see they don't have all the nades. They might just opt out to do a fast round because they didn't buy fully with the nades.
Yeah, a lot of priority given to those smokes. Indicates Heroic will try and blockade some of those site entrances as soon as they get themselves in, but also as a preparation to cut down those rotations.
I have to just mention this again because they had the money to buy the nades, but they didn't. Which is a bit weird because they just might think we're gonna do a certain round, we don't need those kind of nades with us.
Would that be costly though? If they end up losing this, they might be hitting themselves for that.
Yeah, but they can buy the next one. I think that's the idea. But they also have in mind what they're gonna do this round. Which is... Yeah, I mean, it's a very weird tactic. I've not seen this before, to be honest.
On rare occasions, for sure. Ooh, okay. Tapson ends up falling here. Refresh does have to pay for it with 90% of his health. But Kito seems to be the player in command of this long position. Starting to move in. Searson spots that one elbow, repositions the crosshair to get the job done here for them. At least they are able to stabilize. And now Big looking to find their way back in. Refresh was low, remember, therefore that one bullet was all that was required. Tizian with a quick hex shot. Heroic running out of utility to spend here. Only one flash for them to get this cross forwards. Kito does find it in the end. And it's all down to Stalin here. Storm, what can you do? 1 on 3, bullets from the side, and that is Big finding their way on the board.
Nice play by Big. Just being composed, not doing too much, not taking the risk. They have a crossfire from Banana. They know they're long and playing the numbers and playing the odds.
Always got to be so very emotional, right? When he plays, when he's giving out these calls, trying to get motivation around to the team. It's a very the approach is in big contrast to how Heroic are kind of like with their coach, right? A little bit more composed. All right, calm. Okay, here's a fist bump. That's all right. You guys are doing grand.
Exist. He is the calmest guy ever.
It's good to see. There's definitely a lot of approaches to this game.
Yeah, I mean, even if Exist doesn't speak with his hand, doesn't mean that he doesn't have passion. It's just the natural way of him as his personality. So. But yeah, now we see them force buying with a lot more nades and with 1 AK. And for me, it looks like it's going to be a B round very soon.
Yeah, could be a big hit here. Tapston, though, look at this. Might be able to gain some ground towards Playground. Spots out utility thrown over, therefore that's a simple pick. Expected. Faven, though, on enough angle. He can expect to grab one, but can he find the follow-up? He will not. No cover for him there. So at least that could be an 8K recovered for the Heroic side. Looking to grab it. Tizian gives them that respect. Kind of big now, looking to wrap around towards this B-side area. They haven't gotten the call that it's a commitment yet, so they can't put all of those eggs into that singular basket. As Heroic now look to put the utility on the right person, Stavin has actually found an opening. And Keto, that position no longer is there for him to take. If it is going to be a quick push by Heroic, he could be in trouble. Tizian, I think he spotted out an elbow there. So he knows they're lingering close by. And he'll aggress forwards. That's some damage, but at least it keeps Heroic back for a little bit. But now they're still going in nonetheless. In the midst of that smoke, going for a boost first. One to the left side angle, yet to be spotted. As the smoke dissipates, they have a choice to make. You can already see a rotation from Shush to the upper park side. Searson gets a lovely shot to get things started off well for them, but Cadian still on an elevated angle. Flashed over, that's so perfect for Big. Damage onto Storm as well. Really, just one bullet to do it. It's only running out of time at this point. Big, good to equalize the score.
That was really well played by them. They kind of knew it was going to be B. Because Heroic still made sound and B short, and they were running around the water and they boosted. But the patience from Big was the key here. They flashed the short, didn't white peek without any nades, and played it perfectly. And good for Kaito, to come into this as a stand-in last minute to show up. In my opinion, he's playing really well.
He really is doing a good job here. I think Big will be thanking him for coming over from Germany at such quick notice, right? It was a very last second endeavor that Grimbo wasn't able to play, right? And just in a matter of a few minutes, it was like, all right, let's get him over here. Let's get him to Sweden. And that they did. And so far, still in the game, not out of this tournament, losing a best of 3 on the upper bracket final against Astralis yesterday. A very close one, I might add. I don't think it was that one-sided, although that Dust 2 map still must hurt for them quite a bit. Well, cannot be easy for them, although it's pistols to do it. I mean, it's overall, you're playing up against the Glotzer Heroic. So, good capitalization of the advantage for Big here. Third round for them. Yeah, hits the move, Gob. Show us how it's done.
Did he do the wave or?
Something like it.
I liked it, yeah.
Good dance move. Preparing for the party that Dinko's going to later as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a buy round. I think we might see a more heavily, maybe they might go back to B later, because that's what Hero likes to do. Just, show presence towards A, fall back, and make them guess where they are, because Big has had information in mid, which has made them stack B more often, but now they're cutting off the information in this round. They're playing out the A default.
Fairly standard stuff from the Heroic side, but for Big, that's a lot of movement towards this water angle. Faven into connector. Shush holding it back.
They're really strong in the towards connector side, which means they can rotate to A or B, and they're so compact together that if a fight starts, they're not gonna stop. And as I mentioned before, they're falling back from A, going to B after cutting their information off. Really good thing to do as a T on Overpass, but I just think they seems to be ready for it.
Oh, that drop. I don't think Faven meant to do that.
No, that was just unfortunate.
That could be costly. That could also give away the entire plan of Big. 40 seconds, utility lined up here for them, starting to regress little by little. That's water control as well. Get him to that short side, Tizian. The balls to go for such a swing, but thankfully for him, Heroic weren't ready for it. Still alive to tell the tale. Tizian to open things up here. That's the swing that you need if you're Tizian and Big. Equalize things up. Searson on the back line. Doing so much by his mere presence, but there's a wraparound coming in from Tess's. The weak link of this strategy was that upper park side, and that's where Heroic are coming in from. But Tapston reads it! Nothing you throw at them will fade them. And that's them carrying on that advantage.
I'm unsure why Refresh pushed that into from B short, because you could have stayed there and waited for Tessus to make the next contact. That was a bit rushed. I think that the idea was for them just to wait for Tessus, but you know, maybe some nerves making Refresh push that way too early.
Yeah, I mean, they had the pressure from Searson coming in from Connector as well. It must have been sort of a call to kind of, okay, let's get in there quickly before there's a backstab of their own, you know, so... It's also Big putting a lot of strength over on Heroic, and it's definitely causing them to make some mistakes. A couple of missteps for them at the early start of this round. I'm sure they would have liked it to be cleaner, but at least it gives them some leeway this time around, right? We're looking at Heroic, they're bringing out the pistols, it's kind of being a little bit slower paced. And we know that Big in these particular rounds don't like going too aggro. They like playing it slow, like allowing Heroic to fall into their arms, which could play right for Heroic. If they know the setup, they could kind of pre-fire stack.
Yeah, but on Overpass, this is what something I used to say, or say still to this day, is that it's not the smokes that's going to win it, it's not the Molotovs, it is the flashes on Overpass that is the most important utility you can have, and they have none of it with the pistols. So it means there's going to be raw duels everywhere against rifles. I don't see them, you know, now he's alone on A while I say this. But yeah, it's going to be really rough for them to come into the site.
Well, a good note for them is that Searson was all by himself here, and the reinforcements will take a while for them to approach. Of course, shorter rotations on Overpass on that CT side, but still Searson might be in trouble. Tapson looking to resist, but there are multiple Ts already on that site. Looking at overwhelm, Searson spotting out movement to the right-hand side, but the rest of them are looking at challenge. He actually falls before he even has impact, and this is actually very dangerous here for Heroic. Very dangerous indeed! Testas wants a piece of that done pie. You can smell it from miles away, but Tizian walking in here, looking to make the difference, touches the bomb, but falls into the safety of the smoke. Oh, but he's visible. And they get it done, Golden, with Deagles.
That is insane. That is Big's round to win, and they fumbled. I think they were overthinking that they had bad buys, and they stacked 4 towards B because that's the site most people will go to when you have force buys, and left Thurston alone. And they just overwhelmed him. The thing is that he got the first kill, but he didn't jump or take more information. He just saw 2 people, and he kept holding his angle. I'm not unsure why he didn't white swing, because either way, if he stays in that position, not falling back, he's stuck. He cannot do anything. He either has to fight or fall back, but he didn't either that. He wasn't in between decisions, and that cost him the round. And also, you know, Big being scared of playing against pistols and stacking B, I don't think that's, you know, they had good rifles. They can hold their grounds on B. They don't need to have 4 people.
Bit of oversight there from Big to kind of leave Searson alone there. And I think the smokes for Heroic also worked out perfectly for them.
Yeah, but imagine if they had a flash. Searson wouldn't even get 1 kill.
Let's put Heroic quickly in the game. If on the CT side, you want to build that economy quickly. And when Heroic put setbacks like that and throw them at you, can definitely hinder their performance. Overpass, they play this quite a lot so far, right? Heroic love this map and have won it every single time in this tournament. The most recent result against Fine is 16-8, never given them a chance. Against Fnatic, maybe a little bit more closer, but when they know what they're up against, when they know what style of play their opponents are bringing to the table, their reads, their wraparounds, always on point.
Yeah, and you can also see like Big showing way too much respect, and they're not playing as aggressive. Like they're doing it now in Sandwich, but that's a false information because most of the team is on long.
The moment they think they've got time to play aggressive, Keto steps up. Oh, that's refresh. Oh, it's actually Searson to do it, which means Keto can come in once again. Taps in on a difficult spot. Oh, but gets it through it. And then it's Stavin and Cadian. All of a sudden, find themselves in a really difficult spot, and Stavin will aggress, and that is where Storm will have to fall. Cadian wants to hold on to that AWP. The Big, though, aren't really going to let it slide that easily. Oh, that's where he falls. And Big stand up, 5 on them.
They're making it work. Like, I don't know, Heroic is being scared of them playing aggressive, and they're just taking a really long time to clear any angles. They're being still on like 50 seconds and not progressed anywhere. And Kaito, I have to say, the first kill he got, that was the one that made this round really hard for Heroic to even come back, because he had the entire of connector, killed one guy, and held entire of mid and balloons. And he had all the information. They could only be long because they already cleared B short, and they had information on B. One guy holding and seeing, he had early information, and that made it really hard for Heroic to, surprise them on A. And you can see they counter with smokes, taps and shooting with the M4 silencer is really OP in smokes. Like if someone's spamming with an AK or MAC-10, you hear the sound, right? And you can just spam back. Then that's why it's so CT-sided right now.
Do you think one of the reasons why Big are playing it sort of safe and really not getting their hands dirty in the early rounds of this, in the early stages of this round, is because of what they saw Team Finest do yesterday, right? There was Anarkes coming in, very aggressive stance he took, and he got dealt with quickly. So is Big sort of being adapted to in this way?
I don't think they have those kind of players to be that dynamic and versatile in that way. So they're trying to do the best and playing it, but they're making calculated risk, which Finest didn't do yesterday.
Well, Big will fall victims to their own aggression.
Yeah, but we saw Big clearing B and going back to A with 4 people. That was their idea. That's the calculated plan by Tabs and going out on long. Even if that gets one or dies, they're still gonna go back to A and stack it. So they're creating a trap.
Set the bait. And Heroic are waiting to be put into that trap. Let's see if they bite. Starting to move across. Ooh, if you're Cadian, you can barely see a pixel of the barrel of Tizian.
He can't see it, like he's so small.
Oh, it's so small. The thinnest of margins, Searson. Oh, he's there and ready. Oh, you don't want to miss that shot. And Tizian looking to swing by. Keto holding it up on the upper park side. But Big have got such a grand setup here. And I think Heroic have just realized it. There aren't too many CTs. We might as well fall back. But they don't. They relocate. They want to go in once again. And that is where they may fall. But all of a sudden, it's all down to one-on-one. The bomb sets in the nick of time. Keto wants to play the right angle. 9 points of help for Cadian, but he gets it done.
Oh my god. Cadian, that is not an easy shot to hit, and like they went into the trap and still got out of it, winning the round. That is so insane. That shouldn't happen, like, because it happened because Searson missed 2 very important shots. And you can see, like, even when you have an AWP, like, when you miss that shot, you're kind of screwed. And that is why it is so vital to, hit your shots with the AWP.
Oh, Heroic. After that one, they're going to be feeling it. They're going to be feeling it, right? After such a clutch, fist bumps come out. The good jobs as well.
You get more momentum when you're winning those hard rounds you shouldn't even be close to winning. And that was one of them. It was only because of the missed shots from Big, but their positioning was so well. And when you go into a trap and win a round, you just feel, as a team, you feel empowered. You know, you can do anything, and you have the confidence. Next round, you're just running around and killing 3 people. You shouldn't even killed 1.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate for Big, right? Setting the trap, had it all right. Falling, seemed to be falling into place, but when Heroic have the gunpowder to overwhelm, win out those trades, and capitalize on Big's mistakes, there's not much you can do with that. That's a USP kill. All right, okay. Looking to find some damage. That's another ding, but unfortunately, with the helmet, Shush will survive. Heroic equalizing 5 on 5, and for Overpass, I think that can be very, very difficult for Big.
It's, you know, getting momentum on T side is not easy, but when you get it, it is so hard to stop. Because what you can essentially do now, if you're Heroic, you can pressure B as much as you can. You don't even need to execute B too early. You can just like pressure with the utility, and you're gonna make Big very uncomfortable on B side because it is so hard to hold it.
Okay, Sisson is actually aggressing here. You don't often see this. Tapson looking to help out. It's Tizian actually to fall onto that B entry, but still traded out. The clear meat and potatoes of this round have got to be this position. Sisson gets it done. He can get out of there now. And now Heroic need to wonder. The pre-fire! Shooting through the wall and finding damage. So smart for Big, so aware of where Heroic are playing right now. And it seems wherever Heroic go, they meet the blockade. There's not much time remaining for them. And if they want to unravel themselves out of this difficult spot, this is where they start to loosen that noose. Onto the B side already. Shush aggression, but Favon, he lets it go until he falls in front of his crosshair. Cadian as well. This is still doable though for Heroic. Stubborn and Cadian are low.
Yeah, and they're all so spread out.
35 seconds, Big. Don't want to over-aggress for good reason. You can also see Searson coming in from behind.
Kaito is the key player here. It is his round.
Storm, what can you do? Ito, there he goes. Right on time. And Heroic hopes are out of the window. Big back on top.
They really need that round. If they lost that, they will be broken.
People at home miss that, but
yeah, we can see that.
You love to see it. There's fan interaction coming in from the Big side.
He was saying, no, you're so good. No, no, you're so good.
A lot of no use there.
I love it. Thank you, guys.
So good to pick your brain on these matches, man. Such an honor. So good to kind of get these insights, because there are many moments that you've lived these pressures. You've lived kind of trying to get a team, a roster together to make it happen when the odds are against you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I'm also honored to be here and getting this chance to cast, you know. It is nice to explain some things that you see, some like how you experience it yourself, so yeah, I'm just here talking shit, you know.
Exactly. Well, now with Big, they've got a better buy, of course. Heroic might be looking for a faster pace. They've got a Mach 10, a Tech 9, of course, very, very fast-paced weaponry. But it seems so far they're kind of waiting for Big's push. They're going for the connected play again. A big stagger in that position.
It's gonna. This is the part of the map you, as a T, you really want the control, but the CTs, you know, they're trying to stop it, and you know, so they can play towards A, they can play towards B, and be quick to the rotation. And again, yet again, we see Big having those plans. You know, they look at the map; they're so compact together.
Heroic. Ooh, they've lined up their forces. There are weak links to this play, right? The upper park extremity and Monster. Searson able to scramble 1 kill, but the cross will come forth. The next cross is here, and Softon will stop it. Although now he needs to rethink before he peaks once again. There's a smoke that sets beside him, and now there's a boost coming in. Anticipating it, Thorn gets it done. The bomb goes down though, and this gives us chance here for a Heroic. Cadian onto the bottom angle. Oh, and it's refreshed to shut down Tabson. It's a 2-on-2 jaw. And now we're talking about a short and monster approach. 2 angles. Oh, but it's Cadian to do it once again. Looking to reload, and Searson locked out of it. Oh, that was a chance to shut down Cadian. But he misses it. And now what does he do, right? Does he go in? Does he fall back? He knows his chances have quickly dwindled. And he opts to save that AWP.
Searson hitting really good shots. Yet again, Heroic win at 3 versus 5. That is so hard to do, but I felt like Big were a bit too fast on giving them the option. You know, they were making the retake way too quick. They knew short was smoked off, and they pushed through the heaven smoke as well. A bit hectic, and maybe some nerves coming into this, right? So this is very unusual to do.
Yeah, coming into this round, I think Heroic just took a shot, right? They kind of wanted to test out the waters a bit, how it feels to play aggressive up against Big, if they're ready for such a thing as well. But you can also see how much that round was damaging for Big.
Yeah, almost no money, just some pistols, a saved op. No nades, or 1 smoke only, that won't do much.
Oh, what a beauty of a shot there for Searson. Oh, Keto, he hasn't been checked. Could be a free kill, and it is. And it's just a 5-7. Now Big find themselves ahead in numbers. And could work around this, though. Heroic, they've got an interesting push going on. Shush now moving onto that A site. And Big not really contesting it. Favin locked behind a smoke. This could give them a lot of space control.
If you're Big here, you have to kind of go through the smoke, in my opinion. It is way too risky to wait it out.
Ah, now the smoke dissipates and there's no way he expects the left side angle. No, he does not. And that's how he dies, that's how he falls, and that's how Heroic find their way back in. There's a wraparound coming through. Shush wanted to be sneaky, but dealt with by Tabson. Now they're looking to double back onto this B site. And Searson's looking to run right after it. Cadian wary of the connector play. Heroic still looked to prevail, but Tabson able to put refresh to an early grave. Flash coming through, but it's Tabson to find the side angle. And Big prevail once again.
That was really well played by Heroic, going back to V side. It looked really good mid-round calling and, you know, finding those spaces. But Big still managed to handle that much better than last round. You know, playing the numbers, getting into the retake together, waiting out the smokes. But yeah, they gave up the A site, and then Refresh just, you know, snuck back into CT through lower and got to B. That looked really unusual, but it worked out for the bomb plant at least. And you know, as you know, watching this, I love to see those kind of plays. They are so unusual, but they're so smart to do. And Heroic doing it on stage, it shows that they're getting some more experience as a team and trusting those calls, you know.
Yeah, there was that article, you know, saying that Heroic is kind of the last chance for this roster to prove themselves on LAN. Obviously not the biggest of stages they've ever competed on. It's walking into a stampede of hot lead. That has got to hurt. Some dinks are found. Kill onto Tizian. But Big are able to solidify themselves ahead, at least at half-time. But Golden, I know this is a CT-sided map, very heavy, and Big have very much relied on these halves. How much of an advantage is enough for them?
I mean, if they get a few more rounds here, if they win out the half by 9-6, it is looking really good on the T side. Because if you get the pistol, then you're kinda, you know, the odds are maybe for Big then like 70-30 or 60-40 at that point.
Oh, Searson being a sneaky boy. Oh, he wasn't even looking at the left side corner, still gets it done. At least it's traded, but Keto, he's being a sneaky man as well. Will stand alive and doubles it up. And that's Big taking control, something we've expected for them to see. Oh, they were bumping into each other. Might have smooched each other as well. Giving each other a little hug before one has to fall, but at least it's Big on top here. Refresh is in an all too difficult position, right? No bump control. Big have an idea of where he's coming from. So Big, a lot of criticism thrown at them of not being proactive, but they've done this a couple of times so far.
that Kaito push from long was so good. And we will see that now from Heroic. They will do the same thing. And it's so hard to play against because you think there's gonna be something here and it's done, you know? And then they show up again and just kill you off when you're not even aware. And that guy was coming from B, poor guy. Whoever it was, I don't remember his name.
Oh, well, at least Refresh is staying refreshed.
You could say that. That was
Yeah, that was pretty good. Not as good as Dinko's one-liners. He's been having a few of those today. Very good. All right. Heading into this one, right? Big starting to feel a little more comfortable. We can see them traversing throughout the map a little bit more fluidly, dynamically. And we're seeing smiles on them. I think they know that they've got nothing to lose. I think this relieves a lot of pressure off their shoulders. They know they're not coming into this game as the favorites anymore. Is this perhaps what they needed? Kind of get that weight off of them?
Yeah, I mean, going into this matchup with a stand-in, as you said, the pressure relieves, like the burden of, you know, winning is not there. It's like more have fun and, you know, just play your game. And in that way, it could go into their favor because playing without pressure, you know, mentally, you feel really good about it.
Down a map, but still feel as good as ever. Now on the T side, though, have to do the heavy lifting. This is where they have struggled more. They're able to turn it around. This is the time to do it. Pistol win, crucial. If they don't get it, you can guarantee that Heroic will be down and out of this game so quickly. They'll get rid of them as if they were garbage, throw them away. Okay, that's a quick opening there for Refresh. There's a play red here from Cadian. Gives the call for his team to arrive, and he backs away and still runs away with another smoke to keep him at bay, but Big have dropped the bomb. They haven't even gotten the chance to get it down yet. Sisson very close, a crucial position to have for Big. Does he move through the smoke? Oh, the nade lineup. They don't need to shoot at them to get these kills, and now by mere numbers, they seem to be able to scramble out this victory. There's a couple of pot shots to come through from Tizian to entertain the idea of contention. But it's Heroic to find the pistol, and it's Heroic to have an opportunity to close up this gap.
Yeah, that was a really nice tactic. Like the double HEs, the utility was perfect. Like they knew what they were gonna do. Cadian falling back, getting that kill with him on Faven, that was just extra. Like that was a bonus. He didn't even want to stay there, and it's unfortunate that Faven pushes aside with the bomb and clearing sight.
All right, being big in this situation can't be too easy. Obviously, you have to let go here. Deagle shot. I'm actually seeing Heroic be very proactive. This is a very standard Heroic play. Oh, even though it's read by Keto, the dance around the fountain seems to be working out for them greatly. Storm as well. This is slowly just fitting into their pocket, and they haven't taken a hint of damage.
And they're just showing dominance, no respect, you know. They're not even letting the Deagles work up mid. That's when the weak Deagles can really do a damage. And they're shutting them down before they even can come up slope. That is like, that's something big, Heroic really likes to do. You know, showing dominance against ecos. That means that creates a false reality that you can actually not... Big thinking, oh, they're always aggressive, you know, we cannot push up mid, we need to use flashes, more of this. And them doing that takes longer time to progress on the map, on Overpass especially, a big map where you cannot, you know, you cannot flash every angle. And now it's gonna make them more scared.
Pressure very clearly mounted onto Big, and Heroic just make it that much more difficult for them. They even aggress towards water, but this is Faven taking care of it nicely. Shots onto Tizian, keeping him low. But for Big, they're happy with the advantage. But you're right, they've already used so much utility, and they've gained little to no ground.
They seem so stuck, like they're everywhere.
Testers will try and contest. Tizian here is able to open things up for them. Shush as well. The moment you thought Big had the advantage is Heroic just pushing towards short, demanding that space, and taking it for themselves.
And they have left A completely.
Don't care.
Yeah, this is so insane.
They really don't care. As long as they know where their opponents are and they're able to find the advantages, they know that a 4 versus 2 retake is always going to be favorable.
But they're doing it they have done this so many times and they do it so well. It is so hard to play against as well. Like, you don't know where they are, and you keep second guessing yourself.
I mean, you can see Tamsin expecting, is that going to be connector pushed by them? But
yeah.
No, they don't care about that. You've got Shush in a very deep B position. The rest of Heroic now have traversed towards that A site. And Big are just scratching their heads. Not only they're wondering how on earth did they lose that advantage at the start, but also how on earth did they carry on from here? Because Heroic have had answers to everything that Big has thrown at them so far, and I have a feeling that that is going to keep on happening.
And, you know, Big just now opted to save at like 1:58 seconds. They just like, no, we're not going for this anymore.
Counter-terrorists win.
It's good guns to save, but they want rounds and they want them quickly. This is allowing Heroic to build economy ever so fast.
Surviving 4 people on a full buy round is such a bonus on every CT side.
Those Diamond 4s, man. All the interviews, you know, in between games, you know, that we've had. I think there's been a sideline interview run down with all the players, kind of everybody being asked, okay, what patch would you reverse? Everybody's saying that M4A1S, man. It's just too strong.
It is so OP. Like, if you know how to spam through smokes and using the sound very well in the game, it is so hard to stop.
It just sets up the CT side for success. And Big have already lost that advantage they built up. Quite a marginal one, 3 only. But that also indicates they've gotten nothing out of this T side yet. Ooh, okay. All right. Kaito cutting out Cadian. And now, I mean, Big got a decision to make. They've got some rifles to work with. No flashes, though. That's definitely going to hinder their chances, but Stavn fairly deep in this, is calling for reinforcements. You can see Tessa slowly making his way towards that A site, but it's Big to go for a very quick crunch. And Stavn will try and read it, crossfire, pre-fired, Searson able to trade it, that could be an opening. Favn keeping his mind on the backside, but soon enough he's going to have to push forward. But he's letting Heroic push towards them. Well read by Big, looking for another, but that's the bomb dropped. And now Big need to recover ground, but they really don't have time to work with.
That was such an important kill by Shush on Searson because he was trying to get back to B to Kaito and it just didn't work out. Another thing, like Refresh, just ran out of connector.
All right, Keto, you've got a chance. Oh, it's a little bit rough around the edges.
I have to give it to Heroic. Like, when Refresh just ran out of connector, it looked like really stupid, but he has Shush behind him. They have a plan with every push they make. So there was like a bit and switch. So Refresh getting a kill or not, it was going to be a really good positioning for Shush to, you know, come up and just kill him. And that ended the round, in my opinion, just that one kill.
It seemed Big kind of had the right idea, right? In Toilets, they kind of turned their attention towards back to the connector side, but it was only a one-man effort, so the trade game was never going to work. Oh, Storm might be in trouble here. Tech9's throwing at him. Deagle shot to take him down eventually. Big looking to up-pump the pressure, and it might be the pistols to do it. They've recovered an AK-47 and M4 as well. They're looking to take this further. Still treated up by Cadian, but not impossible for Heroic. Still with 2. Although they're very split up. The 2 extremities taken over by the Danes. And Big sort of taking control of the middle areas.
Even they are far away from each other, they have such a good positioning, but the gap isn't on the ground.
And Big sort of expecting Heroic to make the first move here. Very passive. Favn starting to move up now towards Upper Park. It's not going on for a walk today. It's not filled up with the cheers of children and party, no. This is their opportunity to move into the grand finals of the Pinnacle Cup Championship, and they can see it sort of starting to get away from their hands. Favn spotted, damage taken. Oh, Heroic have been so good with these positions. Now traversing towards that connector side. Tizian meets that impact. 2 of the players at Big are so low. And Heroic, I've got Refresh exactly where they want him to be. 17 seconds of time is up for grabs. That is Refresh looking for more. That is Refresh with all 3. The young gun steps up when it's required. Heroic determined to make this an all-Danish grand final.
Really well played by Fresh, you know, holding his cool and patience, just standing there, just picking him up. They were already so low. You know, Tizian jumping there gave him the opportunity just pick him off. That was a bit unusual, maybe a bit more nerves. They're feeling the nerves. A bit stressed, it felt like.
Big seem to be dropping the ball here, falling flat. Multiple occasions, Heroic again, a little bit of this drag and pull. Again catching out, and they're able to make it out of there. They're happy now.
Yeah, and Tesla just, you know, jumping, getting the information and falling back. That's how you should play CT side when you already have an advantage. Keep playing information, information, information. That is the key in almost all rounds in CS.
And the point you made earlier, right? Big, a focus to use a lot of utility early. Now they're already out of smokes. Only a couple of flashes to work with. Not impossible. But when Heroic have got such a good charge of positioning, Kaden is actually moving up a little bit forwards here. Tess says, oh, he really needs to hold that angle. Otherwise, Keto might have a grand opportunity. Even smokes it out.
But also, like you see, Big, they're just waiting for aggression till this point when they're a man down.
There's 3 on that B site there for Heroic. That's the perfect scenario for them. Have most of these players lined up. It won't even be a trade at that point. Tapston somehow was able to find a miracle out of that one. Keto looking to keep his team alive. The A site now looks a little bit more scrumptious than B, and it may be opened up completely. Keto grabs that out of the bag, and now calls in the reinforcements. The bomb will go get planted, but it's down to Shush and Stone to stop that from happening.
Bomb has been planted.
Really good positioning by Kaito here.
You can catch them off guard so easily, can't he? Just waiting for them to move in, and then he can be a thorn in their backs. Tizian, what a shot. And this just looks all that more likely for Big. It looks like they've guaranteed it. That's going to be them now going to get onto double digits. Took them a while to find around here on the T side, but they've finally done it.
It's such a complex round yet again coming from Big. They're hitting both A and B on like 30, 40 seconds. That is so hard to do, and they're getting away with it. I mean, they have a plan. They know how Heroic is playing. They must have talked about it like, hey guys, this is how they play. They're gonna over-rotate where we make sound. And, you know, there's happening action on both sides at the same time. And for Heroic, it stops their momentum. They cannot play how they want because there's happening action everywhere on the map. And they have to they cannot make their gamble stacks as they have done previously against other teams.
You can tell that the Big fans are highly outnumbered from the Danes. But, you know, you got to give in to them. They've got spirit. And Big are still not out of it, right? We're looking at a round differential, but how inflated is it, right? I mean, Heroic on that CT end. Keep in mind, this is the first round they dropped. Big are in massive need of chaining a few together. Tassa's, ooh, okay, he's going for something interesting here. And no one has read it from the Big side. Flashed over, but that doesn't matter. That's a Tapson kill. That's a freebie for Heroic. 4 now for Big, but they've got a good sense of why the B site is the next point of contention. Fairly open up for them, but Shush, they walk into his crosshair. He's going to take them down. Starting to get personal here. Heroic really want to stop them. Quash their confidence. Tizian barely surviving. He wants more assistance. Looking to keep his team alive. But now there's a lot more to do, a lot more space to gather. Storm is coming in from behind. Tizian's got a read on it. And all of a sudden, this is fathomable. Stepping up to the plate, smoke close by, Creepy crawling through it, and there might be a grand opportunity. Oh, and that assistant down. Tizian with all to do, with 2 singular health points to work with, both rerouting towards water, and they'll have the right angle. Tizian takes control of it, but 34 seconds. Refresh with the right angle gets it done. And Heroic, albeit being close, get the job solidified.
These rounds, they are so it could go either way. So many small margins. I mean, even that they got that situation from 2 versus 5 or 3 versus 5, that was not even possible for them even to get a chance in the round. But Heroic gave it to them. But yet again, well played by Refresh to not go from the ramp as soon as his team has got killed. He didn't go for it too quickly. He made him second guess themselves. That was really good.
And Heroic now feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, they've switched up their play so many times. They've got so many plays in their handbook. Obviously, for Big now with a standard as well, there is just so much you can do. And remember, Crimbo was such an integral part of this team, right? The Lurker, such a massive position to hold within a roster. And a lot of these fights were kind of determined because of him. A lot of clutches. And all you can expect is a Mo down here with that MP9. And yeah, they're just going to walk into spawn here, but they're actually gathering the kill. We'll give them an opportunity to pick up that M4, but Refresh doesn't want to give them a chance to breathe. He will suffocate them to death. Squeeze life out of them. And really not give them any chance to come back.
That was, like, if you looked at how their utility was, Heroics, they had 1 smoke, 2 flashes, I think. And with that, they already had in mind that we're going to play all in positions and we're going to take the duels to them. We were not going to let them execute on the site. That's when we have no utilities to stop it. So we're just going to take raw duels, and which they did. Refresh, with those 3 kills, that was the best thing you could do. Like, taking the fight to them.
And Heroic now, of course, with the comfort of an extra map, can feel free to take chances, and one of these chances is Shush right now. Oh, you're incredible, Shush. You're absolutely magnificent. Big had no chance in reading that one. Just completely shutting down any prospect Bid had in that round.
We see this way too often from Heroic, where just one guy pops off in a very important round.
Starting to feel for Big now, can't you? I mean, they've come such a long way, topped their own group, right? I guess never had the opportunity to play against Heroic in Group A. They had a quick best of 1 against Finest. Or MIBR was it? It was MIBR and then Fnatic, that best of 3. Yeah. Very close. Very close, but still came out on top and looked poised to be in that grand final, right? We were talking about the ramifications of Heroic getting there. Everybody thought these are the favorites to take the entire tournament from the start. Although they've crumbled under pressure a few times, right? It wasn't that easy for them.
I mean, you can see they're building the momentum within the tournament. They're getting better and better. Like, they started off really shaky, and the next match they played, it was also like a bit shaky, but now it seems like a well-oiled machine that is, keep going and getting better as the tournament goes. And I have to give it to them. Like, when you have Shush, also really, like, he's underrated in my opinion. He's not been given a lot of credit. He does so many good plays and taking information with Along, Tessus, and Staven. Like, those 3 players are one of the best players right now in a team, in a complete team. They make Heroic such a dynamic, versatile team.
Seeing Brazilian flags in the crowd as well. There were 2 Brazilian teams that joined us in this tournament. MIBR, Imperial. Didn't quite make it though. Didn't quite make it. Unfortunate. But only the best survive.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the CS scene right now, it's so... Everyone can beat anyone almost in the top 10, top 5 teams. And it go either way. When you have, like, if you have a really good start on CT side, you can roll over the opponent's team and, killing them off with just momentum.
Big. This could be their final chapter for them, right? Running out of money. 2 rounds away here for Heroic. This is do or die for them to stay in this particular game. It's looking a bit shaky though. Galil's utility not so much expended earlier on. I think they figured out that Heroic might be playing a little bit more passive this time around. But any sorts of sense of aggression that is thrown at them, it seems that Heroic somehow known. Favon, he's been thrown in this injury towards his location, but the main contention point here for Big is this mid-side connector also taking over. A solo journey for Keto, coming to a short end.
That was a nice shot. That was such a small angle they took.
You love to see Caden coming alive in these moments earlier, cheering up the crowd. And it looks like they're just taking control of this one by one. Big had a few individuals just going a little journeys here and there, but they always get shut down. They get challenged. Flash now thrown at them. Favon looking to bring things back here for Big. So slowly maneuvering forwards, Thorn can be such a big difference maker here. As soon as Tessus calls it, as soon as a push commences, he can just come in from behind. So Tessus, all he needs to do is trade it, but he doesn't. He ends up falling instead with barely any damage inflicted, but Thorn yet to be contested. Sisson can be to the right-hand side. He can see his silhouette. And that's him finally falling. Shush now to the back end. 12 seconds, all to do here for Big, but Tizian ends up falling. Favon, he'll get shut down as well. Thorn gets it done. Map and series point here for Heroic. One away from heading to the grand finals of the Pinnacle Cup Championship.
It's so hard to play against Heroic when you have one guy just, always being behind and always being near the bomb site to either flank or make a play. I have to give it to them when Big, they cannot do anything going up mid, and they're trying to do it with flashes, but they're so concerned and take it so slow that Heroic just out positioning them every time.
Out positioning them, out maneuvering them, out aiming them. Big, something radical has to change. And they have 5 rounds to do it. Good start to potentially many to come, but it's not all over. Sisson might be greeting Cadian's wrath. You never want to be facing him solo. Oh, Favon. His opportunity quickly lost. Thorn looking to push up even further. Heroic know what needs to be done right now. The bomb is in their hands. Unfortunately, Big's journey might be ending here. Heroic, the only match they lost was that best of one against Fnatic at the start, but ever since, they haven't dropped a single one. All the way to the grand final. Heroic will be your second team to make it there. We've got an all 10-man Danish grand final to be played out here in the Pinnacle Cup Championship.
Yeah, what a match as well. You have to give it to Big as well. They did their best. They had unfortunate circumstances, and they came here and had a good showing, in my opinion. They can still build on what they had in the beginning of this tournament. Yeah, and also credit to Kaito for doing an amazing job.
The craftsmanship here for Heroic was unmatched by Big. Unfortunately, the run will come to an end, but I'm sure the whole process will be taken down and analyzed from our desk. Parla, take it away and let us know how this one turned out. What the boys think.
Thank you so much, Pavlos and Golden. Absolutely smashing the cast. They're Golden's first in English and one of the first in an arena for Pavlos. Congratulations to you two. But